Back here with Sarah Kustok, and we're going viral, Sarah. Last night, Kyrie and the Celtics were eliminated by Giannis and the Bucks. Nick bet on the series with former Celtic and NBA champ Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Perk hopped on Twitter and said, quote, "Congrats to the Bucks. Nick Wright, just send me the bill. Hope the restaurant you choose burns your steak and gets your sides all wrong, LOL." Nick responded with, "My guy. I'm not going to eat for 3 days ahead of time."
Already made the reservation?
So just give us a little history on the bet.
What was the exact bet?
I went on Colin Cowherd's show after the series was one apiece, and I said the Bucks aren't going to lose again. The Bucks are better than the Celtics. Said Bucks in 5 in the beginning. Perk was watching in LA, got upset, tweeted to me, "If you really feel that way,
Perk, we need you in New York.
We're working on that, by the way. Perk and I behind the scenes trying to do a little business."
That should have been the bet, rather than the steak.
He came up with the stakes. No pun intended. He said dinner for 4 at a 5-star restaurant. And then just take a picture of the bill. Put it. No, that's not the force. Put it on Twitter, and we'll cash out the money. Oh, that looks lovely.
Oh,
that looks like Carbone's.
It looks great.
Why are the three of you sharing one entree?
Here's
Jenna's got the salad. This looks like an accurate picture.
Man, but the reason I can't invite Jenna is because Jenna would order the salad. I am going to. This is not about necessarily the most delicious meal. This is about making Perk feel the pain. I already found $30 an ounce Wagyu A5 at our friends Del Frisco's. I'm thinking about 16 ounces. That's $4.80 just for my steak.
Which day are you going?
I love it.
Well, I think I'm gonna do a little maybe Mother's Day meal. Maybe save myself some money. The force of me, my wife, my kids. Save myself some money.
Smart
get
man.
a little.
I thought for sure I was
plateau.
How can I not be in there?
I could eat something other than a
You
salad.
did that on the clock. My name's on the marquee on the show and everything.
You after game 1, picked the Celtics. You get none of this food.
Wait.
Danny Ainge.
You get none of this. Picking Milwaukee Bucks since like November.
I did not pick the Celtics.
Man, after game 1, well, you picked. Okay.
No, I was just messing with
the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, guess what?
How can I not be?
Guess what? Raise your hand if you're going to a meal on Kendrick Perkins. Just this guy. Y'all three can meet me at the restaurant. Separate bill, separate tab. I got my force. I'm doing it with my family, man.
We're going to get Mannix to pick up our tab.
Man.
I've got a lot of bets with him.
Okay.
Mannix should have some extra money. I assume he's been getting paid by the Celtics this whole time.
Back to
your
last
family's my
night's
family.
main
Don't forget.
Okay, all right. You
Brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah. Brother-in-law.
Golden State Warriors managed to pull out a pivotal Game 5 win over the Rockets after KD left with a calf strain. James Harden faded down the stretch, only scoring 3 points in practicality the final 9 minutes. Here he is after the game.
You checked back in with a little over 7 minutes left and only took one shot the rest of the way. Why weren't you more involved down the stretch offensively?
I mean, I don't know. I gotta go back and look at the game, but whether it's other guys who are getting shots, open looks, trying to make the right plays in certain parts of the game, I'm not sure.
Sarah, did James Harden cost the Rockets the game?
Absolutely not. They would not have been in that position if not for James Harden. I think when you watch the game throughout the course of that quarter, I kept thinking that there was moments where you would anticipate James Harden to maybe be a little more aggressive, more assertive, but he was making the right plays. And I think throughout the quarter, you look at what the Rockets did during that stretch when he re-entered the game a little over 7 minutes left, and they were 5 of 7 from the field. I think they were 7 of 12 in scoring on those 12 possessions. They had 3 turnovers. That was part of the issues. I think Golden State locked down defensively a whole lot better. They were making a concerted effort to get the ball out of James Harden's hands. So I think we have come to expect James Harden just to dribble, ISO, be scoring and looking to score on every single play. But, I think James Harden did a fine job. I think the Rockets were putting themselves in position to be in that game to score. They had come back from being down by 20. I think that takes out a lot from a team that you don't always
took a lot out of him.
Yeah, that you don't always. I think it definitely took out a lot from him. So no, without a doubt, I think the Rockets wouldn't have even come close to being in that position if not for Harden.
So I asked for this exact segment to be on the show today because this is going to be a big topic on all the shows today. Our friend Vinny Goodwill tweeted, "Oh, look, Harden disappeared down the stretch. Big shocker." All right, so you mentioned it. Checks back in the game with 7 minutes and 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. There's 12 possessions from the 6.5 minute mark on. Here's what happened. Eric Gordon makes a 3. That's a good possession, right? Chris Paul's fouled, goes to the free throw line. Good possession. Eric Gordon makes another 3. That's the first 3 possessions. Next possession, PJ Tucker misses a layup. That's a good possession. The next one, CP3 gets a charge 8 seconds into the possession. That's the one that Draymond then got the technical on him. That's not on James Harden. The next one, PJ Tucker hits a 3, but he had stepped out of bounds. Was that a bad possession? All right, so now we've got 6 down. Final 6, Chris Paul's fouled. Capella gets a dunk. Chris Paul misses a layup. Eric Gordon's fouled and gets free throws. Capella gets a dunk. Harden gets a layup. That's it. So those 12 possessions, there is not a single one. They had the ones they didn't score on, one they hit a 3, but the guy stepped out of bounds, 2 missed layups, and an offensive foul. So this is one of those things where if you either have an agenda or if you weren't watching that closely, I believe you would say, oh, wow, James Harden lead the league in scoring. Look at big beard James Harden, and then falls. That's not what happened. The Rockets were wildly efficient down the stretch of that game. They got the exact shots they wanted, and they just didn't win. And there's a weird thing we do. Harden and Kevin Durant been going head-to-head this whole series. It took such a toll on KD. It's part of the reason I believe he popped his calf. He's not even available the final quarter. No smoke for him. James Harden's out there the final quarter, making the right basketball play, but because he didn't do what Kobe would have done, shoot it, we're going to criticize him for it. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that it's not fair. I mean, welcome to the world of LeBron James. And even in LeBron's sense, if LeBron's team would have won, they still would have talked about him disappearing. And when you look at it, I'm glad you broke it down like that, because sometimes basketball is complicated, but a lot of times it can be very simple. He checked back in at the 7-minute mark, played the duration, and had 12 possessions. Those were the possessions. That's why I tell you, Nick, as much as sports has been consumed my life, I hate team sports. Because he's got to leave, take that loss because he's the star player. And he was actually, to me, playing some of the better basketball because he was playing within himself. This wasn't Harden from 5 years ago. Because you know what he didn't do to the Rockets? He didn't shoot them out of the fourth quarter.
People are so result-oriented. You know the fourth quarter Harden was terrible in? Game 4. Game 4. He's 1 of 8 in the fourth quarter. He's taking bad shots.
Yep.
It was just step back 3 when you didn't need it.
But his teammates.
But they won. They held on. They won the game, so it didn't matter. They lose this game, so we're going to be on his head. He was the most efficient he's been in this postseason. He took care of it. He had the ball in his hands the whole game, has 2 turnovers total, has 8 assists, 10 of 16 from the field. He did everything you'd want him to do. Some guys, for some reason, people have been convinced that the best play, if you're the best player, is taking the shot rather than making the right play. Harden, again, the 4 times they didn't score, 2 missed layups, a Chris Paul charge, and an out of bounds where they make the 3, but PJ Tucker's back heels out of bounds. Well, I don't know what else you want there.
And he was getting Capella, who had struggled throughout much of the game, wide open dunks underneath the basket. I mean, the way we talk so much about him scoring, his vision, his ability to see the floor, making the extra pass. I mean, again, it goes back to the fact you saying them not winning. But moreover, the team was starting, Eric Gordon was starting to come on. He was finding the hot hand. And so, no, I mean, that to me is just a silly statement if you're going to put that on Harden.
And totally opposite of Kyrie Irving. 2 years ago, these ball players, they're going in a different direction. James Harden is a better basketball player than he was last year, than he was 2 years ago, compared to someone like Kyrie.
Sarah, thanks for joining us today.
Great job.
Thanks for taking a break. Coming up, could the Lakers consider